In May 2026, a moving story touched hearts across the world. It was the story of Judson, a non-verbal autistic young man, and his final ride on his school bus. Written with extraordinary tenderness by his father, the article captured the ache of transition, the devotion of a parent, and the dignity of a son moving into a new chapter of life. What moved people so deeply was its honesty. Beneath the story of a bus ride lay years of care, advocacy, exhaustion, patience, and love. Many families living with autism recognized themselves in that story. In 2026, experts continue to stress that the greatest needs for autistic children and their families are not simply medical or educational supports, important though these are. The deeper needs are belonging, acceptance, respite, meaningful communication, and communities willing to walk patiently alongside families who often carry hidden burdens. Those themes run powerfully through this weekend's scriptures. In the second book of Kings, we encounter the woman of Shunem, a woman of influence, who welcomes the prophet Elijah into her home. Her hospitality is beautifully ordinary: a room, a table, a lamp, and a bed. Yet through these simple acts, grace enters human life. Hospitality in the gospel sense is never just politeness. It means making space for another person and recognizing their dignity. Families of autistic children know how precious that can be. Too often they encounter impatience, misunderstanding, or isolation. Real hospitality says, "You are welcome here exactly as you are." The Shunammite woman also reminds us of modern pioneers who have transformed understanding around autism. Internationally, Temple Grandin helped society see autism not simply as deficit, but as difference. In Ireland, Dr. Susan Crawford and others working in education and advocacy have challenged schools and communities to become more inclusive and compassionate. These voices are prophetic because they invite society to see human worth differently. St. Paul's letter to the Romans moves the reflection to a deeper level. Paul speaks about being baptized into Christ's death so as to rise with him into newness of life. These words touch something profoundly human. Every transition involves loss before renewal can emerge. That is what made Judson's final bus ride so poignant. It represented the ending of one world and the uncertain beginning of another. His father's reflection carried both grief and hope. Parents of autistic children often know this paschal rhythm intimately. Expectations change. The future can feel frighteningly uncertain. Yet moments of extraordinary tenderness and joy also emerge unexpectedly. Paul reminds us that God works precisely within those vulnerable places. The Christian promise is not that crosses disappear, but that love can carry us through them into new life. In Matthew's Gospel, Jesus speaks about taking up the cross, welcoming prophets, and offering a cup of cold water to those in need. These images belong together. To carry the cross means remaining faithful to love even when it becomes difficult or exhausting. Many parents, carers, teachers, and siblings living within the autism community embody this quiet faithfulness every day. Yet Jesus balances the image of the cross with the image of simple kindness. A cup of cold water may seem insignificant, but Christ says such acts matter eternally. Judson's story is filled with these small but sacred gestures, accompaniment, patience, attentiveness, and love. The devotion of Judson's parents, especially in the daily work of accompanying and advocating for their son, reveals something profoundly sacred about love, vulnerability, and hope. Jesus also speaks of welcoming prophets. Prophets are people who help society to see differently. Many autistic advocates and pioneers have done precisely this. They challenge cultures that value productivity and conformity above compassion. They remind us that every human being possesses a dignity that cannot be measured by speech, independence, or achievement. Perhaps that is why Judson's story resonated so deeply. Through one child's life, people recognized something at the very heart of the gospel. Love that remains present, carries the cross gently, welcomes vulnerability, and refuses to give up hope. Amen.